Okay. Senator, I think it's up to you now. Senator Cindy Hyde-Smith.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This has been most interesting of hearing this discussion back and forth, and it's very, very telling. But it is important because the evidence of this administration's assault on domestic fuel energy production is abundantly clear, to the total detriment of so many. On top of the late 5-year plan that was supposed to be completed and released more than a year ago, the administration has proposed a plan that obviously won't have any offshore lease sales in 2024. None, zero. The last time that happened, the year was 1966, and LBJ was president. What's worse is that there is no guarantee the only 3 lease sales in this 5-year plan will ever even take place. But I'm putting my money on the administration doing everything they can to ensure that it doesn't. We know that offshore oil and gas production in the Gulf of Mexico, I'm from Mississippi, that is a Gulf state. It is the gold standard when it comes to producing energy in line with our nation's environmental standards that are very rigorous. Our producers' record consistently surpasses bad actors such as Russia, Venezuela, China, OPEC, and even Iran. Those foreign producers, they don't adhere or frankly even care about those standards. And so many in this room today, you have said how important these good standards are. I assure you these countries do not care about that. Yes, this administration continues to limit the domestic production that is better while encouraging those very countries to produce more oil. None of this seems to be rational at all. I have a 2-part question, and it's to you, Ms. Klein. In this 5-year leasing plan, how does a drawdown of offshore leases to the lowest OCS lease sales in history not embolden our adversaries when it comes to energy dominance?
Well, thank you very much for the question. Certainly, as the proposed final program is put together, energy security and the global market for oil and gas is something that's considered. I believe the administration's focus on transitioning to clean energy and tapping into domestic sources of clean energy is a way that continues our energy dominance.
What about national security?
Well, thank you again. National security is something that is also considered throughout the process in putting together the proposed final program. The transition to cleaner energy sources here at home is something that we believe helps facilitate energy security, and the proposed final program and the direction in the Inflation Reduction Act certainly led to the Secretary proposing the minimum number of sales needed to continue to expand the offshore wind program.
Do you think this country is safer because of that?
In their tallies that the total number of votes cast is 429.
Thank you for the question. I don't believe that the proposed final program has made this country any less safe.
You truly do not believe that. What's the administration's rationale for not utilizing the Gulf of Mexico to its fullest potential to combat the threat of the United States again becoming dependent on hostile nations for energy? What's your rationale for that?
Well, thank you for the question. The documents and all of the analytics provided in the proposed final program, I think, go into some detail about the role that Gulf of Mexico oil plays in the global energy markets. The Secretary, based on all of the factors that she's required to consider, including impacts to the environment and the administration's goal to hit net zero pathways by 2035, as a result of all of that work, concluded that the 3 lease sales best meet our energy needs for the next 5 years.
It meets our energy needs, but does it make us safe? Congress enacted the Outer Continental Shelf Lands Act primarily to facilitate the federal government's leasing of its offshore mineral resources and energy resources. In this law, Congress expressly stated that offshore resources should be made available for expeditious and orderly development. Ms. Klein, what assurances will you give us today that BOEM will not impose burdensome stipulations that make new leases economically unacceptable and therefore basically unavailable for development, contrary to this clear congressional intent?
Well, again, thank you for the question. The proposed final program outlines 3 potential sales that would take place in 25, 27, and 29. Secretary still has
And you think
a
that's
decision
going to
to issue.
happen? Do you think that that's going to happen?
I believe that the Inflation Reduction Act provided clear direction on requiring oil and gas lease sales to happen in order to continue to expand the offshore wind leasing program. That's certainly something the administration is committed to, transitioning our nation to cleaner energy sources.
I'm out of time, Mr. Chairman, and I hate it badly.
Hang in there. You're going to get another shot.